right, welcome back, everybody. It is the Monday show. It's Monday, October 9th, 2023. And of course, what we do on this show is talk about not only how scripted the NFL is, but how it's scripted with world affairs, how ritual murder is part of the plot, and how people need to wake up to it because it's truly disgusting. And of course, last week we were talking about Miami's latest rituals and the dead dolphins from former players to what was reported that happened in the Amazon. Look at this week. This week starts off with Thursday night football. Dick Butkus, the Chicago Bears great dead, right before the Bears' big blowout of the Washington Commanders on the same day that the news is Biden's dog Commander has been removed from the White House after biting 11 people. And of course, football is a game of 11 on 11. Now, fast forward to tonight. Raiders on Columbus Day. Again, those pirate teams always do very well on Columbus Day because, of course, Christopher Columbus was a pirate. And in Gematria, Columbus equals 106. Tonight, the Raiders got their 106th franchise win over the NFC. And that's in the regular season. They got their 109th all-time win over the NFC, if you include Super Bowls. And today is 10-9. But those were some of the primetime games. Something we predicted at the beginning of this week is that home teams would go 7-7 for the week. There were only 14 games. And the reason we predicted they would go 7-7 is because that would put home teams at 37 total wins for the year. And for the new person here, Columbus Day equals 37. So by the Raiders winning tonight, it was the 37th win for home teams all year. And the two kickers tonight in a game of football, the two kickers were brothers. The Raiders kicker got his 37th career win tonight. But notice, with the alphabetic order, Columbus is 106. If you take the alphabetic order in numerology, Columbus Day is 37. Okay? And you know, the four base ciphers, alphabetic order with numerology, and then also running the alphabetic order in reverse and running it in reverse with numerology. Christopher Columbus's name in reverse is also 106. So again, the Raiders, the pirate team, get their 106th regular season win over the NFC. Notice both teams fall to 2-3 in Las Vegas. The other team that has the 23 connections, the Jaguars. Remember last week they won with 23 points in Trevor Lawrence's last game, getting the 23rd home win for all teams of the season. This week it was similar. The Jaguars and Bills played in the UK, and Buffalo got the 36th home loss. Buffalo was considered home. You see how when you run the alphabetic order in reverse numerology, Buffalo's 36, and so is Bills. Buffalo picked up the 36th home loss of the season. Home teams are now 37 and 41 for the year after tonight's game. And, you know, with regards to staying on 41 losses, home teams, Skull and Bones is 41. Again, they are also known as Order 322. Today was the 322nd birthday of Yale, where Skull and Bones is. And a thought we had tonight was we thought the final score might be 31-13 instead of 13-17. And the reason we thought it might be 31-13 is because if road teams, which were the Packers, scored 13 points, road teams would have 322 points for the week, which they did on Yale's 322nd birthday. Again, American football is credited to Walter Camp of Yale, Skull and Bones. And had the Raiders scored 14 more points, home teams would have had 322 points for the week. Them scoring 17 put it at 308 for home teams, and the key digits in that are 38. Big number with the Raiders, also 38. Probably their best number is 74. And there is something to say about Raiders closing it out this week where war breaks out in the Middle East with Israel. Let's go back to the first game of the week. The first game of the week, the Commanders losing to the Bears. You see how Commanders, with just the alphabetic order, is 105? They played on October 5th, 10-5. And by the Bears winning that game, road teams became 10-5 in primetime for the entire season. Road teams became 10-5. And it was easy going into Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football. If you're on the Patreon, I put out the update before the Sunday Night Football game. I said if home teams win Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football, we're going to hit that number, 37 home wins for the week. Home team 7-7. So anyhow, though, Commanders 105, road teams became 10-5. 105 is the 14th triangular number. 105, the 14th triangular. The Bears ended the 14-game losing streak. The word dead is 14, so is end. And, of course, Dick Butkus dead before the game. In case somehow you missed the work on Dick Butkus, which we already covered, I don't want to go too much in that because we did a big stream on that last Thursday night. Again, outside of the base ciphers, really important cipher is Jewish gematria. It gives you the bigger number values for words, and they're helpful in things like this. When the Bears defeated the Commanders after Dick Butkus' death, their regular season record became 787 and 628. Richard Butkus, 787. Dick Butkus, 628. Just think about it. Dick Butkus. Men in tights. Bent over. Okay, so other games. Falcons and Texans. We predicted the Falcons would win this game by 2 points. Why did we predict that they would win by 2? Because if they did, the Texans would be plus 15 in points scored for the season, meaning they've scored 15 more points than all their opponents. What do I always tell you about Atlanta? It's the 15 city. It's even where Donald Trump recently had his 15 minutes in jail, so they tell us. But Atlanta 15, and when you run it in reverse, 120, and when you add 1 through 15 together, it's 120. So we call it the 15th city. Texas loses by 2, the Houston Texans, and leaves Atlanta plus 15 in points scored for the year. And the Falcons came into that game negative 15 for the year in scoring. But also the other familiar number there, Atlanta's 15, Falcons is 25, the team that gave up the 25-point lead on 2/5 in the 97th season, the 25th prime, when they moved the touchback to 25 yards. But what's 15 plus 25? It's 40, right? Atlanta Falcons, we called them the 40 team, like Ohio State, who the other week became 4-0 versus Notre Dame, who fell to 4-1 in that game when Notre Dame's 41. The next week they make Duke 4-1, and Duke only scored 14 points. Learn your gematria. But anyway, dead on call right there. Panthers and Lions. We like the Lions to get it done here. Jared Goff got his 60th, I think it was home win on the 281st day of the year, 60th prime. And there were 16 date numerology. Goff picked up a 16 in the W column with the Lions, as did his coach Dan Campbell. A lot lined up for the Lions. They looked good to go, and they definitely handled business. I had a theory on why they would score 37 in this game in the win. They ended up scoring 42 in Detroit on the 42nd parallel. Well, what I was looking at if they scored 37, you see how Carolina is 37 and 143? Had the Lions scored 37, they would have had 143 points for the season. Not far off. And the Panthers lose with 24 to the Lions, right? Lions is 24. But anyway, Titans and Colts. Shout out to the young man who called in. I didn't see a lot to go on in this game, but a young guy called in and he pointed out that the CBS sports writer wrote this really funny article about how Tannehill's been bad 71% of the time this year. And we're like, wait a minute. That's really specific to write 71% of the time because his next L was 71. And he got that 71st L in this game. And again, that's just the advantage of paying attention to and knowing it's a numbers game. And the people in the media, some of them are in on it. It's like they're communicating in code. So the disappointment in this game was Tennessee in 34 has been rocking for us. This game was in Indiana, though. It wasn't in Tennessee, but we thought Jonathan Taylor coming back, he might get that 34th career touchdown in his return. He didn't do it. But something tells me when he goes back to Tennessee, he will. Dolphins and Giants. We thought Dolphins would cover the spread, blow them out here. Remember how it's been all about 70 in the Dolphins this year, right? Miami Dolphins, 70. They scored the 70 points. Right before that game, one of their players drafted in 1970 died. A couple days before that, Hubert Ginn, also drafted in 1970, died. And then last week, right before the game started, they said there were 100 and some dead Dolphins in the Amazon right before Josh Allen became 7-0 at home versus the Dolphins in a psychological game, right? I'm sure everybody was betting on Miami after their 70 points, and then they go into Buffalo and get their ass kicked. And then the psychology thing again. Jaguars haven't looked very good this year. Buffalo's starting to look hot and awesome, and then they can't beat the Jags, who've been pretty mediocre. It's because the NFL's all the script, and it's all mind games, and it's all about hustling the gamblers who can't figure out that it's fake. All right, Saints and Patriots. Saints picked up a 19 special here. Mac Jones got his 19th loss. Remember, there's only two teams with a 19 connection. Saints have the 19 name. Seattle's the 19 city. But where Saints is 82, so is New England Patriots. And also in that game, Derek Carr could have got the 82nd loss. I had a theory on why the Saints would score 37 in this game. They ended up scoring 34, not far off the mark. But definitely a divided game because of the 19 and 82, and that's why some games are better than others. This Ravens and Steelers game, you want to see how awesome this is? Again, the Ravens are named after Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, and look at this. You see how Edgar Allan Poe died in history on October 7th, 1849? The day before the Ravens and Steelers game was the 174th anniversary of his death, right? The 174th anniversary of his death. Baltimore is 95. Baltimore Ravens is 174. Mike Tomlin, the Steelers coach who won this game, became 174 and 95 the day after the 174th death anniversary of Edgar Allan Poe. And look at what day died, 10-7. What's Kenny Pickett's record now? Kenny Pickett's record is now 10-7. They couldn't have scripted it any better. The Eagles and the Rams, we knew this game was going to be all about Kobe, and what made the most sense was Sean McVay getting the 41st loss. And Eagles did cover the spread. I had a hunch the Eagles would win this game by 13. They won by 9 instead. It was still enough to cover the spread. But what made this game tricky for some people, a lot of people wanted to take the Rams because they had the value, but I kept telling people, look better for the Eagles. Look at this. You see how Rams is 15 and 30? Hurts got his 30th win and his 15th road win, right? Makes a lot of sense. But the thing you had to think twice about was 49 and 22 for the Eagles. Stafford could have become 49 and 49 at home and got in his 22nd win with the Rams. But the one true 41 that was there, Week 5 is 41, but so is also Kobe Bryant. The one true 41 that was in this game was, again, McVay getting that 41st loss. They've just been doing stuff with Philly and LA and Kobe ever since he died, and it remains true here. And, 37 points in the game as well. Remember, Kobe died on the 37th anniversary of Bear Bryant. Bryant, 37 forwards, 26 in reverse. Okay, Bengals and Cardinals. Okay. This game also looked a little bit tricky, but like we talked about, I really wanted to see the Bengals win this game, and they did. And it felt like they had a little bit better narrative than the Cardinals. The Bengals' next loss versus the NFC is 94. And who do they play next? And in week 1, was I outside of a certain NFL stadium telling the fans before the game why they should be prepared for the loss because Matt Stafford was in town and about to get his 94th win in the long history of 94 with that city? If you don't know what I'm talking about, do some research. Might help you out next week in the rigged National Fix League, where, again, the Bengals can get that 94th loss versus the NFC. Funny enough, the Bengals play the NFC West 3 games in a row. Cardinals, next city. Check it out. Jets and Broncos, I predicted before the game that the score of this game would be 32-22. 32-22 I had for a score. Problem was I was leaning the other way, though, for the teams. There were definitely some conflicts in this game, so I wasn't crazy about it, but I thought the final score would be 32-22. Ended up being 31-21. And, just continues to be a tough time for Russell Wilson since he left Seattle. It's like Pete Carroll's getting the better of the Russell Wilson thing, and Bill Belichick's getting the dog shit end of the Tom Brady thing. It just ever since Brady left New England, Bill Belichick's looked very mediocre, and that's just all part of the Brady legacy, right? Look how good Brady made him look. Now, Chiefs and Vikings, we saw this one coming from a million miles away. again, Super Bowl 4, right? Super Bowl 4, Chiefs over Vikings. Look how nice it is. Chiefs get the 4th win. Vikings get the 4th loss. Vikings fall to 1-4. Like I tell you guys, KC's the 14 city. You see how Kansas City's also 148. The Vikings coach became 14-8. You see how Kansas City's 122? We had a hunch that the Vikings might give up 27 points because if they did, they would have allowed 122 points for the season. Exactly what happened. And you see how Minnesota's 110-133? Last week I told you, Carolina got the 110th home loss versus Minnesota. This week, the Chiefs got their 110th win versus the NFC, and Andy Reid got his 133rd win with Kansas City. So Minnesota 110, 133. Of course, they hosted Super Bowl 52. Hey, just in the past week in baseball, you see how Minnesota's 38-52? Notice wild card is 38-52. In the wild card round, the first game, Gaussman for Toronto, he picked up his 52nd loss in the wild card versus Minnesota. And then the next game, I think, who did Toronto have pitching? Barrios or something? Whoever it was picked up his 38th loss. It was like, how nice is this? And there were other reasons for Minnesota to sweep that series. And of course, every team swept in the wild card round, and they all ended on 10-4 in the time of the 104th NFL season when they sync up all the sports together. And then Niners and Cowboys. I was telling people, they can become 5-0, the Niners. They love 50. Brock Purdy hasn't missed a 50 San Francisco riddle yet. San Francisco 50. And then they became 3-0 at home. Cowboys 30. And then 49ers has that Gematria 42 as well. They won 42-10. Pope equals 52. Pope Francis is named after St. Francis of Assisi, just like San Francisco is. And these games, you see how Vatican is 70 and so is Francis. And this year the Super Bowl is going to be the first ever Super Bowl on the Vatican's birthday. But these games were 70 days before the Pope's birthday. 70 days, 52 points by the 49ers. Very Jesuit city. Catholicism has that 49, of course. And again, when the Cowboys lost this game, road teams fell to 7-6 for the week as well. San Francisco's also 76. And then tonight, again, by the home team winning again, home teams became 7-7 for the week. Away teams became 7-7 on this American holiday. United States 77, District of Columbia on the 77th meridian. Columbus Day. Columbus Day is big in Chicago, who won first this week. The city divided into 77 neighborhoods. One big scripted league altogether. So right now, for the entire year, home teams are 37-41. And again, Columbus Day 37. Raiders kicker got his 37th career win tonight. And again, Raiders got the 106th win over the NFC. So, again, I mean, whoops, instead of Columbus Day, I meant to write Christopher Columbus just to see the double 106. Now, where the 106 did burn me tonight is I've never seen any of the native teams win on Columbus Day in the time I've been doing this. And they do also call it Indigenous Day, Indigenous Peoples Day, so I suppose that was the Braves' comeback. But man, had the Braves lost tonight, they would have picked up their 106th playoff loss. And people were starting to count their money early tonight in that game. Sorry about that one, you guys, but we're not used to losing on Columbus Day, so that was a little bit of a kick in the nuts and a little bit surprising, and it's the reminder why you never bet the house. But hey, a lot of people had a really great week again, and more definitive proof of how scripted all is. Now, to bring in the Israel piece, like I titled this episode, just kind of wanted to go through it before we get to the bigger piece. The word Bible is 105, okay? And it's not an accident that this NFL week 5, began right before war breaks out in biblical Israel, right? And again, it began with the Commanders, who have this military name, and they were renamed in February, right before Russia-Ukraine popped off, if you remember that. And that was right when the Rams won the Super Bowl with the blue and gold like Ukraine, and Sean McVay with the Ukrainian fiancé. But Bible and military and Israel, this biblical militaristic nation that came out of the world wars, Look at this, you guys. You see how Jerusalem equals 104 and 58? If you did not watch Truth Frequency Radio, my episode I do every Wednesday night, we got that. Wednesday was the day of the 10-4 alert. And they did one in Russia as well, and the U.S. both on 10-4. The one in Russia went out at 10:40 Moscow time, 10-4 message received. But if you go back and watch my TFR episode, we showed how it seemed that the alert was pointing to October 7th, Vladimir Putin's birthday, and why we should expect something big October 7th. Well, it ended up being the war starting in Israel. And notice how Jerusalem, which is 104, like the 10-4 message, Jerusalem's 104 and 58, right? Again, Super Bowl 58 will conclude the 104th NFL season. And remember, we've been talking about how Swift is 58 and her full name, Taylor Allison Swift, is 104. And then Tupac, who was killed in Vegas and who came up in Baltimore, one of the most Catholic cities in the nation, where Baltimore's 95 and the Super Bowl's on the 95th birthday of the Vatican. But Tupac Amaru Shakur is also 58 and 104, and expect his hologram there at the halftime show this year. But 104th season, Super Bowl 58. Notice how Templar is 85 and 104. Of course, National Football League is 85. The Jesuit motto, Jesus Omnem Salvator, is 85. Ron Rivera and the 85 Bears starting the week. October 7th, the day leaving 85 days left in the year. For a year, I've written 2 books about it now and talked about it a million times, how the invasion of Afghanistan on October 7th was a huge Templar ritual with Bush in office, Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones is modeled after how the Templars buried their dead. The Templars were pirates for a period of time. Thus, why the Raiders are always winning on Columbus Day, or the Vikings or the Buccaneers. But, again, the Templars, who got all this knowledge, Kabbalah and all this stuff from being down in Jerusalem. And, again, just how this code's being used and how it's all synced up. The distraction sports game, synced up with the world affairs, synced up with the news. Week after week. Again, 9/11, Patriot Act, and then all of a sudden the Patriots are so good. Mockery. Saints had never won a Super Bowl. They're the Aints. Until Katrina comes and wrecks New Orleans. And then how does New Orleans get their first championship? Over Archie Manning's son. Of course, Archie Manning played for the Saints. But this stuff's not an accident, you guys. Far from it. It's all part of the planned out script. And coming back to the Bible 105, the war in Israel, the attack on Templar Day was on the 147th day of Israel's age. In the Bible, Jacob becomes Israel, and Jacob dies at age 147. Okay? And 147 is no joke. Like Freemasons 147, conspiracies 147, the White House, there's 147 windows on the White House. U.S. President is 147. President of the United States is also 147. All the astronauts who've gone to outer space have been Freemasons. Outer space is 147. Spaceship. Anyway, it's not an arbitrary number. It's biblical. It's part of these secret societies. It's symbolic. Until they changed the NFL season around, but for forever, when the NFL started on a Sunday and ended on Super Bowl Sunday, the NFL season was once upon a time 147 days long. And again, not an accident. All biblical. Look at tonight's quarterbacks. I'm going to show you about tonight's quarterbacks in light of what's going on in Israel. You guys, it's amazing how they do this. And it shows you that these people are born and bred to be. So we're going to go to a Football Reference website. Football Reference, great website with a lot of information. There's one for baseball. There's one for basketball. Baseball Reference, Basketball Reference. They're for college. You just put college in front of it. College Football Reference, college baseball, college basketball. Jordan Love. His birthday is November 2nd. Quarterback for tonight, right? November 2nd. And Jimmy Garoppolo, his birthday is November 2nd. Now, why is it so interesting that in this week where war breaks out in Israel, Monday Night Football, with the Raiders winning on Yale's birthday, Skull and Bones, Templars all the way back to Jerusalem, why does it matter, in light of what's going on in Israel, these guys' November 2nd birthdays? What happened in history with Israel in November 2nd? If you don't know, Balfour Declaration. The Balfour Declaration was the letter written to dear Lord Rothschild about the establishment of a Jewish state in Palestine. Again, dated November 2nd, 1917. How many years ago was that? Was that 106 years ago, you guys? Was that 106 years ago? And now here we are on Columbus Day. Columbus 106. Christopher Columbus 106. Here, just so you guys can see it with your own eyes, let's go to StatMuse real quick. Raiders all-time record versus NFC. Well, there it is. They just got their 106th win tonight. And then you got two quarterbacks starting, born on November 2nd, on the 106th anniversary of the Balfour Declaration about establishing this Jewish state in Palestine. Dear Lord Rothschild. Rothschild means red shield. Close your eyes. Red shield does like a big Templar shield with a big red cross come to mind. If you ever seen the show about the Templars, Nightfall, about how they ended up getting burned on the stake, there's a component, how they want to save the Jews in France. Anyway, dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet. His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object. It being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. Well, they didn't follow through with that. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. Now, November 2nd, right? 112. This should make more sense to you. The word Zionist is 112. It's also 77. Home teams became 7-7 tonight. Judaism is also 77, and when you run it the other way, 112. And again, I just want you to think about like Revelation, the letter written to the Church of Philadelphia about the synagogue of Satan. Tonight's game in Sin City. They had the big Yom Kippur shooting the other year. Said 58 were killed. Now Vegas having Super Bowl 58. 112 matters too, because remember, who runs Israel ultimately? The Jesuits and the Catholic Church run it, Israel. That's why Israel was created on 14/5, like the 145 more chapters in the Catholic Old Testament. But again, Catholicism's 112. Theater's got the 112 and 77. CNN, through this whole thing, their main woman on the ground in Israel giving you the scenes is, let's go back out to Holly Williams. Almost sounds like Hollywood, right? And again, the internet's not what it was 10 years ago, but 10 years ago, if you went on Google and looked for contrived war footage from Israel, I mean, it was so busted. They literally do, it's hard to know what's real, you guys, because they literally fake war footage a lot in Israel, just to stir people up with the conflict. The fake news has a real psychological impact on all the Abrahamic people of the world. And I don't think everything going on over there is fake right now, but some of the stuff they're making for TV might be. They gotta have stuff news approved, right for news. Holly Williams. So, yeah, and if you missed, the video I put out at the end of last year, I told you guys why this was going to happen this year. Again, October 6th, 1940, the day before it was the 75th anniversary. Or hold on. October 6th, 1940. Let me just put up the article for you. New York Times, October 6th, 1940. New World Order pledge to Jews. So this is a real headline from New York Times. It's their website. October 6, 1940, beginning of World War II, New World Order pledged to Jews, right? It's before Israel's made, about 8 years before the creation of Israel. That date had 75 numerology, right? Most pure cipher, alphabetic order and numerology, New World Order 75. Notice how it's 69 in reverse. Catholic Church, 75, 69. The word order itself, 75. Great Tribulation is the thing they keep quoting. The motto, order out of chaos. All these order things going back to 75. New World Order, order out of chaos, order itself. So, again, I explained why at the end of last year, the things to be ready for this year in Israel, major war was a prediction. And I talked about the significance of the superior general turning 74 at the end of last year and how he'd be 74 at this period of time. He'll turn 75 himself on November 12th. But again, 74, Jewish 74, occult 74, Masonic 74, killing 74, the Ides of March, remember the killing of Caesar, the three of the first 5 years. Again, 74, big special number. Holiday 74. So Gaza is 74 years old right now, and so is the superior general. And, Exodus, all the stuff I'm always talking about with Exodus and the Bible. Oh, I forgot to make that point. NFL Week 5 began on 10/5, again with the Commanders, which has to do with war. But the first 5 books of the Bible are the first 5 books of Moses, the Torah. And that's pretty much everything in the Bible everything in the Bible is based on the Torah. Everything that happens in the Torah, the rest of the story is completely based on. And again, it was NFL Week 5, right? Starting on this biblical week with the Commanders and, the Bears. Russia's considered the bear. And then this thing pops off in Israel on Vladimir Putin's birthday, and also the anniversary of us invading Afghanistan, supposedly going for Osama bin Laden, who used to be a CIA asset, and we funded his movement to interfere with Russia back when they were in Afghanistan, because everyone always wants to be in Afghanistan because it has so many resources, from opioids to minerals and endless mountains. So, anyhow, this is what's taking place in the world. And just like how 9/11, the Patriots and the Patriot Act were synced up, now here we are. It's 22 years later. There's 22 men on the field, and things are getting as crazy as ever. And you've seen all the headlines calling this Israel's 9/11. Look at this. Israel Prime Minister. That's Benjamin Netanyahu. He left office on the day, leaving 201 days left in the year. He came back on 12/29, the 201st prime. That was the day I put out my prediction for how bad it would get with Israel this year. And the president of Israel right now, so you have the 9th prime minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, who's now the 9th prime minister of Israel, and making it all the more fun, you have the 11th president of Israel right now. So you have 11 and 9, or 9 and 11. As they say, this is Israel's 9/11. Isaac Herzog, the 11th president. And again, just in case you're new here, 119, big sequence with Judaism. Star of David's 119. Orthodox is 119. It's also big with the Vatican. Vatican 119, like Francis. Francis 70. Vatican 70. War officially declared on Sunday, October 8th, 70 days before the Pope's birthday. October 8th leaves 84 days left in the year. Zionism, 84. It's also 105, going with the NFL week, but Zionism, 84. Masonry, 84. Jesuit, 84. The Jesuit Order, 84. The Catholic Church, 84. United States of America, 84. The leader of Iran, 84 years old right now. Iran, the biggest funder of Hamas. The CIA overthrew Iran in the 50s, so who do you think's been running Iran all this time? Who's running all these nations is one big sick joke to play the people of the world against each other? Again, this is the game to wake up to. So anyway. And by the way, the leader of the Jesuits, the superior general, 84. Star of David, we just talked about the 119. Star of David's also 47. The attack was 47 weeks after the Superior General's birthday, and then the war was declared 70 days before the Pope's birthday, which was also 35 days before the Superior General's upcoming birthday. Where Catholics 35, so is Gaza, and Hamas is 35 years old right now. And who's been telling you forever that it's clear that Israel's a Jesuit-run nation, run by the Catholic Church? Watch that Nightfall show, because it also shows how the Templars work with a certain group of Muslims that are known as the Order of Assassins. See how Order of Assassins is 201? 201. It's also 105. There it is again. State of Israel, 201. The Jesuit Order, 201, right? Ignatius Loyola, the founder, 201. By the way, the leader of Iran is born on the day Ignatius Loyola became the first superior general of the Jesuits, April 19th, the day the American Revolutionary War began in history. Big day. Big day of the Oklahoma City bombing, blamed on Timothy McVeigh, another 201. But yeah, just 201, the number of the Jesuits. That's why Pope Francis I lived in Suite 201. His birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio. So, Order of Assassins is like a backdoor Catholic, Islamic, military connection. They're telling us about it in the shows they're making today. Knights Templar. And they're saying it was an intelligence failure. Again, the Jesuits are the greatest intelligence network in the world. That Jesuits operate within all faiths. And again, I mean, they're pulling all strings. So anyhow, AZ beats the Dodgers 4-2. That means did Zach Gallen get his 41st win? I did not have a good night in baseball tonight. I was worried about that Zach Gallen. The 41 could have played one of two ways, either for the Dodgers or Gallen on this Yale Skull and Bones day. But Arizona winning 4-2, funny score, because Arizona equals 42, and so does Diamondbacks. However, I'm not too mad about this, unless the Dodgers come back and win the series, because before the series began, I explained why it looked like Arizona should advance. Again, gematria forwards and backwards, like I just said, Arizona equals 42, but you run it the other way, Arizona's 39, and what we spotted before the series began is that if Dave Roberts loses the series, he'll have 39 losses in the postseason. So Arizona 42, win it 4-2. Diamondbacks 42. See how they did that? They do it all the time when you know gematria. Whew. I'll lick my wounds for baseball tonight, but yeah, we had a good week in the NFL, and again, even when we don't have the best weeks, the knowledge still speaks for itself every week. Even in our worst weeks, we still have some amazing calls, and we can always point out what they're doing with the news and the sports and just the big rig scripted show, and it's just a damn shame that more people don't care, because what have I been warning you guys about for the last decade? You don't wake up to this game's going to take us to a really dangerous and bad place. More unnecessary wars, more unnecessary fear. I predicted it all a long time ago. I said cost of living will just continue to get crazier and crazier. Quality of life will continue to diminish. It's all happening. It's all happening, unfortunately. So, anyway. We can open it up for some callers. Sage Zero says, shout out to King Richard TV and 322 Skull Atachi. All right, appreciate it, Sage Zero. This man went with the Zach Gallen 41 ritual tonight. Well, nice work there, Pan Creatures. So, we can open up the phone line. We can open up the phone line, take some calls tonight, see what the feedback is from the locals. If you guys want to phone in, I'll put the number up. It's 509-560-4982. And remember, I took away all moderators just so you can moderate your own chat. If somebody's bothering you with spam, you just click on their thing and then just click block, and then you won't see their spam. So you guys are essentially all moderators now. You can just moderate whoever you don't want to read their comments. 209?
Yeah, hey, Zach, could you go over the Raiders record since the Georgia Guidestones March 22nd, 1980.
Did they get their 322nd win since the day the Georgia Guidestones went up?
Yes, they did. Yep, that's what I was gonna call it.
And here let's verify that in real time and think about how, because we have this knowledge and we know what this is about, and let's not forget the Georgia Guidestones fell down on George W. Bush's 76th birthday on 7/6 when they were put up on 322, the number of skull and bones, which also equals 76. But
indeed.
it's also Daniel Coit Gilman's birthday, whose name also equals 76, who's a Skull and Bones member who founded the Johns Hopkins. But okay, Raiders, you said it's their home record?
No, it's just their record since March 22nd, 1980.
All right, let's see. Look at that, you guys. Since the day the Georgia Guidestones went up on 3/22/1980, they got the 322nd win tonight. And road teams just happen to score exactly 322 points. And like I said, you got the two quarterbacks in it with the same birthday as the Balfour Declaration, which was 106 years ago. And Columbus is 106, and the Raiders are getting their 106th win over the NFC. Here, for the person who's not getting it again, let's go back to what we talked about in the first version of this podcast. Government equals 133. Football equals 133. And what happened in history? The Constitution was born, and then 133 years to the day later, the NFL was born. So it's always been this way. These people who rule over us understand how to control humanity. You got to give things to pacify them, to entertain them, to keep them content. That way they'll accept the exploitation, like the overtaxation and all the other crap we put up with. So.
Exactly. I've been here for probably about 5 years. You don't have to share it, but I put a couple of videos on YouTube today after the game. They said Jordan Love had 32.2 passer rating after the game.
And was that for tonight's game?
What did you say?
Was that his passer rating for just tonight's game, or for more than one game?
No, I think it was tonight's game because they said it was the season low.
You know what else I noticed is just that the Packers scored the first points of the game with 2:38 on the clock, and Michael Jordan equals 2:38. And we all know how the week started off in tribute to him.
They also showed that Garoppolo became 22-31 for a hidden 2-2-3. Kind of got a hit in there.
Look at that. Look at the passer rating, you guys. On Yale's 322nd birthday, his 32.2 rating. Huh.
Yeah, I had to bring that up. I've seen that. I recorded it. I got the video proof too. I mean, you probably got it right there on the screen. You can't make this up.
Okay. Our running backs got touchdowns tonight too. We thought Dylan looked all right for one, and Jacobs looked like he might even have a chance at two, but they both got in there. All right. Yeah, great.
You were all over Jacobs.
Yeah. Well, I made the point about Dylan too because he could get that 15th, and I like how he had 76 yards, skull and bones. Christian Watson with the longest 77 yards, hilarious. Green Bay 77.
Isn't a skull and bones known as the Brotherhood of Death, and you have the two brothers playing?
Right, Brotherhood of Death, which equals 83, like football. And today leaves 83 days left in the year, and the Packers lost the guy who made the logo at age 83 this week. So.
Wow, nice catch. I did not know.
That was in my notes. You didn't look at my notes. I had it linked right up at the top of the notes. Look at this, you guys.
Man, I worked today, man. So.
Well, I posted them like a while back. It's okay. They've been posted for days. But anyway, St. Norbert professor who designed original Packers G dies at 83. Notice where the university is, De Pere, Wisconsin, where he designed it, 83. Like football, like murder. Now he's dead. All right, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah, take care. 931.
Hey, how's it going, Zach?
It's going all right. What's up?
Hey, man, I just wanted to point out something I might notice that might be logical. Paying attention to Deion Sanders, right? So he's hit two N-word Gematrias in a row. So he went 3-0 first, lost two. He just won recently to go 4-2. Interesting enough, he has 6 games left. So from him getting the 4-2, from that point on, he'd go 6-0, which would give him a total season record of 10-2. So he could possibly hit all the N-word numbers. Not to mention, it seems like almost all of his teams in the NFL are like following suit. Besides the Commanders, which are opposite, they could fall to 2-4 against the Falcons this coming week, who could win and get to 4-2.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just wanted to point that out.
Okay. Great observation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Nice. All right.
Should we revisit what was on the Georgia Guidestones in light of this perfect ritual tonight? The Pirates are about to ransack the nation of fudge packers. I'm trying to think about how to interpret it. 562.
Hey Zach, get some information in the chat. What's up, man?
Yeah, what's up?
I just wanted to start off by saying, dude, you're fucking insane. Calling Falcons to win by 2. That was amazing. And then the Jets game, bro, off by 1 point.
For both scores, yeah.
Really close.
Point on both scores, yeah. Well, we had some other good calls though, because we showed what would happen if Kansas City, if they scored 27, and was it the Miami score that I got right too? There was another one that was good too, using the spreads. So
There was another one. I don't remember. But
I think it was Miami.
I was watching that game live, and when they were down, in the start of third or fourth quarter, I just doubled down on my money line. Also going with Desmond Ritter not losing at home. I've been sticking with that.
Okay. Yeah.
What made you start looking into the point differential?
Well, I just realized, because I was just looking at this week and I was like, wait a minute, look how many of these games are like lined up with either the opponent they're about to face or their own current team. I said, something's going on here.
Yeah. I was just looking on GematriaEffectNews. I saw you caught it, man. You don't miss anything. But I wanted to mention this because it goes with today's topic about what's going on in Israel as well as the NFL. So, this starting on 10/6 and on the 50th anniversary of the Yom Kippur War, right when I noticed that was like the first notification on any news that was coming out when this happened. I knew to keep looking into that Yom Kippur War. And in 1973, you mentioned how Gerald Ford, he had a big thing going on with that Yom Kippur War. He settled something with the Sinai Peninsula between Egypt and Israel. I'm looking into it. I thought it was insane how today, on Columbus Day, U.S. decided to get involved by sending over a ship, like how Christopher Columbus sailed over the sea with a ship, and it was the Gerald R. Ford warship, just like how he was involved with the Yom Kippur War.
Yeah, there's that, and it's also that at the Gerald Ford's also the president who foretold how we'll get the first female president. So
yeah, I have that video saved on my YouTube channel, and I
did you see that they deployed the ship on October 8th, and Gerald R. Ford is the name of the ship, and it's 108? It's just...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The ship is called Gerald R. Ford ship. Oh, it's 108. Oh, my God. All right, ready? You ready for the cherry on top, though, Zach, for the Gerald R. Ford? How to connect it with NFL?
Okay.
Look who got an interception in today's game.
Oh, yeah, Ford.
I want to say,
Ford, yeah.
Rudy Ford, like Rudolph Ford. Rudy Ford got a pick today.
Yeah. The other thing about Ford and all this is Ford replaced Nixon in 74, and Nixon stepped down on August 9th, big Jesuit day. And if you guys haven't seen my work on Ford and Christine Blasey Ford and just how many times they keep doing the same thing over and over. Anyway, Gerald Ford became president in 74. Remember, Gaza's 74 right now, the Superior General 74, Jewish equals 74, so does Jesus, Messiah, Gospel, Parables, Masonic, Occult, Killing, Roman Holiday, and the list goes on. Again, it's the Society of Jesus doing all this, you guys. And the Society of Jesus, Jesus is Jewish, he's from Judea, it's all connected, it's all Abrahamic religion, it's all one big sick joke with the same numbers over and over, so.
Yep, and also Rudy Ford also equals 105. You're talking about all those 105.
Oh yeah, and 105 was huge because Lamar Jackson didn't have any touchdowns this week, and he stayed on 105, and I forget there were a few other ones, but 105 was really all over the place this weekend.
And then also about today's game, another thing on the number 9, Christian Watson, he ended the game with 90 yards. They changed it to 91. I even have the video clip of him saying they said he was on 83 yards. It's a 7-yard gain, and they changed it after. But
I've seen them do that before.
Also, I'm in LA, so I'm a young guy too. So a lot of a lot of my friends and stuff that are Jewish. I'm not, but a lot of my friends that are. I'm actually Persian, so I'm from Iran, and it's just funny with what's going on right now. But anyways, a lot of my friends and stuff, they're at the whole. There's a big rally going on in Beverly Hills. A lot of stuff there going on. I was gonna check it out. I didn't have time to today, but I have a couple of my friends that are into gematria and stuff too, and I've been trying to show them some stuff about what's going on and stuff. But it is a little touchy for them because of they're from Israel and everything. But yeah, man, I share all my work with that over them with them. Some of them take it in, some of them don't even want to hear it. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of how people are. But hey, thanks for getting the word out there the best you can.
Yeah, man, always continue doing the good work, man.
Will do.
I appreciate it as always. Yeah, hopefully we hit big on Thursday. This Thursday game is going to be interesting between Broncos and Chiefs.
Indeed. All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you. Take care. Have a good one.
931.
Hey, man, it's the same 931 from a moment ago. I just forgot just to add on to the same thing because I only talked about the Falcons and the Commanders, but I left out the Cowboys, who can also win next week, go to 4-2. The 49ers can win next week, get 6-0. And also I wanted to mention, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but this week, especially, I've seen a ton of 42. Shoot, the D-backs game just ended in 42. Who was it that was 24-42?
Do we have a real point to make? Because you're saying your records and that'll be the record, but I don't hear any reason, or it's just they're going to be 4-2, they're going to be 6-0. You gotta tell us what your thinking is, why you're calling these things out.
Because of the N-word.
I see.
I'm basing it off of Deion Sanders and him having his little ritual thing this year.
I see.
Him being 56, and then for the Panthers, that it's a black team. Well, at least the logo is black, and they have a potential to get to 0-6. The 40, and then like I said, all his teams that Deion played for are seeming to follow suit and hit the same type of numbers.
I see.
Even like the 49ers, they can get 6-0. So this week is going to be interesting. I'm playing all those in that fashion. So,
Okay.
Just wanted to give some of my 2 cents on it.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, later. Well, I see somebody get the 38th win over the 38th state for home teams. Speaking of 38th state, they're calling in right now. Denver, what's up?
Hey, Zach, what's going on?
Yeah, what's up?
I haven't talked to you in a while, man. The feast days are over, and I see what happened to Israel. Sorry, I got a little cold right now, so my throat's a little scratchy, but it's good to see you. Also, what happened in Israel, I have friends over there, so yeah, there is missiles blowing up there. That's not fake. Not saying there's some fake images, probably pre-streamed or anything, but yeah, I got a few people that are in ministry that are over there, and they're going to bomb shelters, and yeah, stuff's getting blown up. People got killed, so there's a lot of real stuff that's probably going over there. Just to let you know that. Because I have people that I know that are over in Israel for the feast days. So, but, and my next thing is there's eclipse coming over America this Saturday, and that's a bad sign for the nations. Blood moons are obviously for Israel. So, that's coming this Saturday on the 14th of October. And, you know, this cabal, you call it the New World Order.
The day after Friday the 13th. So we got Friday the 13th and then the blood moon, huh?
Well, it's the eclipse on Saturday. Solar eclipse going over on Saturday. Yeah, you said the Friday the 13th, they like that number as well. But yeah, obviously they're mocking, you know, God with the letters, numbers, and word, which you are correct. But there is a dark side, or the Yetzer Hara, we call it. Yetzer Hara, as they say in Hebrew, the evil inclination. And obviously that's what you're exposing. These guys are masters, hold their 5 levels of the soul, or sold out, if you want to say, to the Hasatan, 1/3 of fallen angel. But that's their job, you know, to keep engulfing death and keep migration shifts on this earth. And like a game of chess, you see more migration shifts going all over the place, don't you? And it's going to get more intense as well. But yeah, the war horse is the next narrative. And as you read the Torah, you got 3 major wars on the way. I think Psalm 83 you can read. Four more nations are going to come against Israel. Ezekiel 37, 38, 9 nations will come against Israel. And then you have an Armageddon war that says all nations. So it's going to get real ugly. And also, the United States, remember, if you read, say, God said, I haven't forgot Babylon, which is United States, Jeremiah 50, 51. You can read, it make the arrows hot, which are missiles. Shooter Insider, Isaiah, I think it's 43 or 47, says she sits as a queen, as a widow, so I mean, help, and, you know, help from no nations with pride, and then, you know, it's all in there as well. But yeah, season by season, it's amazing now the feast days are over. Now the day of Sacred Torah on Saturday, once they did it, which actually you bring the Torah, we go back to the beginning in Genesis 1:1, where we go back to reading the Torah this week. So, well, like I said, the subplot that you keep exposing, you know, keep your gift, you keep doing it. And I think that's why you have a calling. And I feel like people calling on sports, you know, and everything. The main thing is political or government. You know, that's why God's kingdom is the government or the Torah. And then obviously you got all these other governments that Hasatan built that are on the earth. But hopefully, you know, we will be the head and not the tail eventually when, you know, God breaks all these other governments and kingdoms. But unfortunately, we're not there yet. But the main thing is, Zach, you know, it's all this information you're exposing, but I think Yeshua said it the best. You know, there's destinies you got to pick up. You pick up a sword, you're going to die by it. You're going to go in famine. Or you're going to get your head cut off in 10 days, or you're going to be led in captivity. Or obviously starvation, which is also famine. Or maybe if you're making on the last part of the earth called the Iskaim, or the Abrahamic Accords, Abrahamic Covenant. And that's where it'll be a 1,000-year reign. But the why is they're exposing this subplot, so their time is short too, so they can't go back. They can only accelerate and go forward with their global order, which is going back to the Tower of Babel in Genesis 11. So nothing's new under the sun. They want a world without God, without laws, and each man his own. So, and obviously Israel is supposedly the first nation to establish borders and boundaries and law before there was a nations before that. So, but yeah, it's very interesting. I would say to pay attention to this Saturday or coming up this week, because I would definitely think something's going to happen on the nation. The first two would be Israel, which you saw, and how long that's going to last, I don't know. You know, probably within a week, could go more. I think Psalms 83 read 4, it says the Confederates going to kind of line the backstab Israel come against her. But then you got an eclipse coming over America, which is not good. It's another triggered event. It's probably got something's going to happen here in the USA. So it's going to be very interesting. Now the feasts are over. You know, the pour is over. The books are sealed. And, you know, that's when the seals are released, as you can see. But if you don't have wisdom and God gives it to you, called Hukmah in Hebrew, you're exposing, probably the gift that God gave you, exposing the subplot. And that's why you're still on this earth. So, as you remember, one thing man is control is over the earth. But the one thing that Hasatan has control is the prince of the airwaves. And it's funny, you got media, you know, which works, music, sound, 5G vibrations. And that's the realm that Hasatan can rule over if he can penetrate your soul, which goes in 5 levels too. So that's what people always got to remember too. But you do have power, and God gave you power over the earth. So if you're still living on earth, remember I told you one principle, there's like oil and water on you, it changes your status. Your cotton wool and linen on your body, it changes your status, being positive. So it's all in the Torah. God told you what to wear, what to eat, what not to eat. And I noticed, I think it was this yesterday, and seeing a lot of frustrations. The danger of networking is that sometimes you can allow a lot of massive, unwise associations in your council, and they can destroy literally in a day what it took you to build in years. And Hasatan knows that. That's why I would say when you're doing networking, be very, very careful. That's why in the Torah, if you're walking in Torah, or at least biblical Torah, just say you're considered wise or wise associations. They're doing the Shabbat, they're tithing, they're doing everything you're doing in universal accord that God calls you to do. But if you go outside unwise associations, people doing their own thing, they got their all different agenda. And you don't really know who's with you or who's against you until probably later on the fact. So I would say be very, very careful who you network with. Because if you get too many streams of thoughts, that's the problem with the war out of chaos. It causes confusion. And then that's what I said, all these agendas you're exposing, which is great, but at the end of the day, what are you really trying to accomplish is exposing the enemy's playbook, which you've done very well, but they're almost say, okay, that's great, but what are you going to do about it now? And that's why I think a destiny is either a sword, famine, captivity, right? As Yeshua explains the destiny, and basically that's why you walk in Torah, at least you got a chance to live on the earth and Abraham had come there for 1,000 years. But before that comes, there's going to be a lot more triggered events coming. So, but basically in a nutshell, that's what I have to say now to talk. I guess Yom Kippur or weeks before that. But it's good to keep doing what you're doing. And I would just say keep it up, but pay attention this Saturday and coming this following week. What's going to probably happen on this nation. And see what kind of hookman that God gives you within the coming days. So
we'll see. All right. Well, I appreciate it as always. Thank you, friend.
Zach, keep doing what you do and praise Yah and Yeshua in you, because that's where he is. You don't look any further who's in you. That's why they're looking for you. Jesus is Yeshua, and he multiplied himself in you. That's why people looking for the sky, open the scroll, come back on a white horse. They're in fantasy delusion. It's like God created man in his own image. The only sure you're going to see is your fellow brother right in front of you.
Indeed.
So that's why in Hebrew we laugh when you're looking for Jesus and Christ wasn't his last name. So in Hebrew, you know exactly, like, well, I think that English language really messed you up, man. You got to really come out of that vocabulary and maybe learn some Hebrew. And basically, you might get a higher understanding of your vibrations, your frequencies, and your 5 levels of your soul. And we'll just allude to it because we want friends, we want to be nice, but we just know what other language can do from Tower Babel. People babble all over the place, and it's just nonsense. And it doesn't even make sense. So, we just we'll get some real hukmah, some wisdom, start walking the East Kaim, which is, what God called us to do. And basically, you might have a better wise counsel, a better greater life. And then when that subplot's destroying all hell or death, whatever you want to call it on earth, somehow you maneuver around it, it won't touch you, and you'll be fine. Because remember, all Hasatan is a master illusionist, deceptionist. And what does he show? The best tool is TV that everyone watches every day. It's a massive deception. But I just want to call it like at the beginning, there is some real rockets over in Israel, and people have been killed, and there's a real, military issue going on, and I'm sure it's really bad. But some of our friends I know I can witness it, because they already went down in the bunkers when the sirens go off, and they basically have a lot of people got kidnapped, and now they're going to do a ground troop military into Gaza, and only God knows what's going on at that point. And he's not going to show you the real deal.
Indeed.
They might make some deceptions up, which they did. I'm not denying that. But there's some real death going on over there, pretty big time. So,
absolutely. All right. Well, I appreciate the
God bless you.
the call again. Thank you. You have a good night, friend. Take care. 585.
Hey, Zach, how's it going? It's Michael.
What's up, Michael?
Oh, not much. Hey, I don't know if you noticed, but we're talking about the Bible and stuff. The Gutenberg Bible was published
March 22nd.
March 22nd.
Indeed.
55.
Yep. Yep.
I wasn't sure if you were.
Again, it all goes to Genesis 3:2:2. Physical model for Kabbalah. 3 pillars, 22 paths. The tree of life mentioned in Genesis 3:2:2. Again, you guys, there's a reason that they call it the Cabal. You know, the secret political faction with all the knowledge. We're showing you what they know. At least some of the things they know with this whole Kabbalah, letters and numbers. It's amazing how many people come across here and think it's all a coincidence. Like, how can this be a coincidence every day? You got to be a special kind of slow. So.
I know it. I mean, it didn't like when I first started waking up to it. It didn't take me long at all to kind of wake up to it and grasp it. Like it's so transparent. It's insane.
Yeah, yeah. So what else is going on in your world?
Well, just taking care of my son and my family, and just being a dad.
That's good.
So
good thing to be.
Today's actually not on the 9th. Well, officially it was yesterday because it's the 10th over here, but the 9th I just celebrated my 38th birthday today.
It's your birthday today?
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday. Amazing.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome.
Yeah, trying to just, stay fit and stay healthy and just keep going,
There you go. Very cool.
Yeah, that's all I was pretty much calling in, just to, about that, and just calling to say hey. I haven't talked to you in a while, so I figured I'd call in and see how things are going. And I'm watching your stream, so.
Well, it's always good to hear from you, and again, happy birthday. So, wait a minute. Now I think about it, you're on the East Coast. Is your birthday on October 9th or October 10th?
October 9th.
Okay. Okay, so you just had it. All right, very cool. On the West Coast, it's still your birthday. So.
Yep. You got that. Yep. You're right.
All right. Well, very cool, Michael. Glad you had a good day.
All right, Zach. Well, thank you. Have a good night.
All right, take care, man. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
38. Let's see. What does the trolls? The trolls. The trolls. 719.
What does
719.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
Hey, so when you guys are speaking about the Bible, I just recently found out, about the Bible, the Tanakh, or which the Bible is established from. It never mentions that God was ever was on the cross with nails. It never said that it was he died and was risen 3 days after.
Well, of course not, because that's the whole difference between Judaism and Christianity, right? The Tanakh is Jewish. Yeah, the Tanakh's Jewish. So, I mean, for people to understand the difference between Jews and Christians, again, Jews say the Messiah has not arrived. Christians say the Jewish Messiah was Jesus. I mean, that's the whole difference.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, I just wanted to call and say, hey, you tough as nails, man. Because I had heard about those other streams and whatnot, and keep up the good work, and I think those.
Indeed.
So,
Indeed. All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, have a good night. Yeah, again, I know there's so many spiritual texts, and I mean, the Bible is, the Old Testament's Jewish, the New Testament's obviously the Christian section, but there's other Jewish texts like the Tanakh, like he just brought up. 201.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Zach. How you doing?
Doing all right.
All right. I got two things for you. You know how Skull and Bones is 322,
Right.
and then if you type Philadelphia, it's 223.
Right.
Philadelphia was established on October 27th, I think 1629.
Mm-hmm.
And game one of the World Series is October the 27th.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Philly goes to the World Series this year.
Yeah, there's a scenario again. We jotted it down. Game one of this MLB season. We always talk about how the Bushes are synced up with the Rangers that they used to run, and this year the Rangers opened the season against Philadelphia exactly 267 days after Bush's birthday, and of course that's a Philly area code 267. So that's something we're keeping an eye on.
Rangers and Phillies to the World Series.
It's not out of the question.
And you see who's pitching for the Orioles tomorrow?
Who?
I think his name is Dean something.
Kramer? Dean Kramer.
Yeah, I think he's on. It has something to do, I think, with Israel tomorrow. I think the Orioles gonna win tomorrow because I feel like he's pitching for them.
He got to be Jewish with that last name, right? So.
Yeah, he has to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they're definitely doing a big ritual tomorrow with that. So I think the Orioles win tomorrow.
Okay, I haven't looked at tomorrow yet, but I will. So good observation.
And like I said, I think Philly goes because of that whole establishment on October 27th.
Okay, yeah, that's the day leaving 65 days left in the year, the Philly number. So.
And then, like I said, that big skull ritual, the skull and bones ritual.
Mm-hmm.
Today's game was confusing though too, because you know Skull and Bone was established in 1832.
Mm-hmm.
McDaniels, the Raiders coach, could have picked up his 32nd.
Yeah, somebody really liked that in my stream today, and I said, well, you can go with that if you want, but I said, I mean, the thing is, the Pirate teams win on Columbus Day, and there was a lot there for the Raiders to win, so...
That's why I was confused. That's why I took player props today. I liked Dylan's rushing yards and him touchdown, and I liked Jacobs' touchdown. That's what I took. I put that on the 3-team.
Yeah.
I was really confused about that whole, because there was numbers for everything.
You should sign up for the Patreon. You would have been so confused. We were making it look like it was Raiders all day. We had some callers that thought it was the other way, but I knew they were going to be wrong tonight. You don't go against the Pirate teams on Columbus Day, so.
Nah, yeah, but you see how the Monday Night Football is 33?
Trust me, I decode all the games. I know, what were you going to say? Jordan Love could become 3-3?
Yeah.
But I wasn't even worried about it. I wasn't really worried about that either. No, man, you don't fade the Pirate teams on Columbus Day. That's just what you don't do. So.
Well, I mean, I thought the Braves was going to lose today because.
Yeah, I know that broke the trend. But there is that Indigenous Peoples Day, and now it's finally happened.
I think today was the 15th postseason game or something, or the 15th game. I forget what it was. And Atlanta is good with the 15, how you would talk about the 15 minutes earlier with Trump.
Right.
There was a big 15 with Atlanta today, too, so that's why I like that.
I saw one of the... I was watching the game for a minute with my dad, and I saw the middle reliever only threw 15 pitches. My dad goes, that's funny. They only had him throw 15 pitches. I said, what do I tell you about Atlanta? He's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, you always say that's a number in that city. I said, I told you. So, anyway.
It's crazy. It's just crazy how they do all this.
It is. All right, man. Well, I appreciate the call. Keep it up.
I appreciate it, too.
Right,
I appreciate you, you know.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, have a good night. 209.
Hey, yeah, Zach, I called in earlier about the 32.2 passing rating, but I was going to say, that guy who was talking about the 33, well, if you type in the Green Bay Packers record on the road, they stayed on 330 wins for that 33.
Yeah, good one. Okay. Oh, by the way, about the Braves winning night, one thing that I hummed and hawed about this morning was that it was 95 days after Bush's birthday, because Braves is 95. And the Braves win it 95 days after Bush's birthday, playing his old team, the Rangers. So, again, you always pay attention to those Bushes when the Rangers are playing. You wouldn't believe how often they're syncing up the games with that family.
Oh, no, yeah. Yeah, they sync all throughout the season. They sync it up with Bush, his birthday spans. The Rangers, they got their 93rd win of the season on Saturday. Saturnalia.
Both Philly and the Rangers did. Phillies and Rangers both got their 93rd win on Saturday. And Phillies got their 42nd road win, too.
Bush is in that game.
Oh yeah, 93 days after Bush's birthday. Right. Indeed.
Another game synced with the Bushes and the Rangers. I mean, game after game.
Okay, that could make sense.
But yeah, I just want to call about that 33 for the MNF. The Packers stayed on 330 road wins all time.
Okay. Appreciate it.
So yeah.
Good one.
Yeah. Thanks for the knowledge, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome. Take care. All right. Yeah, the pitching thing. Yeah. Ugh. 301.
What's up, Zach? It's Martin.
Hey, what's up, Martin?
Not much. I was noticing, if you there's a president of the Yale University, and if you Google it, you Wikipedia. Wow, I can't even say the name. Wikipedia his name right now. You'll see that he's the 23rd president of Yale University. Of course, Las Vegas equals 23, but the day he assumed office was July 1st. And from July 1st to this game was 100 days. And I noticed that the Packers got their 100th loss versus the AFC. And I thought that was pretty interesting. If you put his name in the Gematria calculator, it equals 55. And I think the Packers stayed on 55 all-time wins in week 5. I thought that was pretty interesting. So,
yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was going to be part of the video. I was trying to call in in the last live stream, but I didn't get in there. Too many people calling in. But yeah, the Raiders, that was probably the best picks for this week besides the Chiefs. I like this. I like it when it has a holiday on it and we can just follow the holiday and make stuff real simple. And
It was easy. Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football were made easy because we had the right observation from the start of the week. If 7 home teams win, 37 home wins for the season, Columbus Day and Niners made sense to win, and so did the Raiders tonight. So again, though, sometimes the league-wide narrative, especially when you got holidays, you can just see how the whole league's scripted together.
And on for my notes for Monday Night Football, like I have different notes for Green Bay on Monday Night Football. Their record is 37 and 32 all time on Monday Night Football. And today's Columbus Day. So I thought that was interesting that they stayed on 37 days on Columbus Day, which equals 37.
Right.
They got their 33rd loss on MNF, and I think this game was 33 weeks after the president's birthday. And MNF equals 33. So I just thought that was all interesting.
Indeed.
But that's pretty much all I had to say. But there's some good callers, but then there's some callers who just drag it on. I mean, no disrespect to them. I know they want to get their their wording and everything like that, but it's like, try to have your notes ready when you call in, because there's other people that want to call in just as much. And I think it's unfair if they're holding up the line, because I know sometimes when you do streams this late, you're already tired. So it's not fair to you, and it's not even fair to the other callers. I just want to say that much. But yeah, that's all I have to say for tonight.
Indeed. All right. Appreciate it, Martin. Thanks.
All right.
818.
Hey, Zach. Have you noticed anything with the Rangers and Phillies? Ever since the start of the wild card, they've had the exact same scores, the Rangers and Phillies.
They've had the what? What's been going on?
So, like, the start of the wild card, the Rangers and Phillies, I know the previous callers spoke about, like, the connection between the Rangers and Phillies, but have you noticed that they've scored the same exact points every game except for today? Like, the first game, they scored 4, and the next game, they scored 7. Do you think that's a sign of something?
I'm not following the pattern that you're on, how they're scoring the same. Like, Rangers scored 3, Phillies scored 3 on the 7th, this type of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Rangers
The
7,
first
Phillies
block
7.
party
Oh, I see
4.
7-1, 7-1. Interesting. I was overlooking that. Rangers 4, Phillies 4. Yeah, okay, I see. I see.
So,
And again, I mean, hey, at the very beginning of the season, I advised a future for the Rangers when I saw what they did in that first game, synced up with Bush. So we should have that space covered in this community because we made a big deal about how interesting that first game of the season was between the Rangers and Phillies.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw it out there in case you didn't see it or.
Oh, I didn't notice how they were scoring the same amount of runs until just now, so that's a good observation. And just for the record, while the war was breaking out, the Rangers they won 11-2. Again, that Balfour Declaration Day, just like how both quarterbacks born on the Balfour Declaration at night, November 2nd, and how that was synced up with tonight's game because it was 106 years ago as the Raiders get their 107th win versus the NFC. And also the name on the Georgia Guidestone, since we figured out that's hooked up. Robert C. Christian equals 106. So it's getting crazier by the moment. But 106 is the number of prophecy which they're contriving. Appreciate it, caller. 682.
Hello there. I was just calling because there's been a narcissist yelling in a car, and I was just wondering how to deal with it. If you have any advice.
Aren't you the troll that hangs out on his channel?
Yeah, this is Texas Julie. What's up?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Do you have any advice how we can deal with this?
Like what like are you paid to just like hang around and troll? Like what's your thing?
No, I'm not paid, but if you want to pay me, I'll take some money.
I definitely don't want to pay you. Anyway, she's a troll, you guys. She's like a weirdo girl. 208.
hang up on that bitch. Hang up on that bitch. Take a real call.
You're already on. What's up, 208?
How you doing, bro? I just want to throw out a fun little Super Bowl riddle that nobody really is talking about. I haven't really seen anybody bring any attention to. So, in light of all this war stuff going on right now, I think it makes perfect sense. War equals 42, right? World War is 42. Super Bowl's on the 42nd day of the year. You pointed out earlier how Jerusalem is 104 and 58. I think that's just crazy. But we know how Israel.
Just so you guys know about the. I forgot to make this point. I've been making it in other streams we've been doing. But again, Jerusalem 104 and 58. We talking about how this connects with Taylor Swift, Tupac, just how all these things fit in with Vegas. But another word that equals 58 is end. End is 58. And the only times that pro sports have been interrupted in history have been for world wars. And this is kind of like, we're like getting really close. So, the end of this season, does something really crazy happen shortly after that? So come February. February is the war month.
Right.
But, yeah, all of this stuff's connected, guys. We're living out the script right now. So it's going to happen unless humanity rises up and stops it, and all signs point to that not happening because people would just rather keep watching the game and sitting in front of the screen. So, but go ahead. What else is up?
I was just looking at Israel 48, right? They're established in 48, and that's the Seahawks number, and they're in their 48th season right now. I was just thinking, like, this whole time you've been talking on the stream, I've been putting some notes together and stuff. And I was just thinking about Revelation and the end times, and Revelation equals 1010, right, in Jewish. And that's Geno Smith's birthday, 1010, tomorrow. And he's born in Miami. And all the big ritual with the fire and Tua and how the Seattle numbers connect with his name and his birthday, 206. Like you touched on all that, and Seattle was not established off of fire, but rebuilt in the Great Seattle Fire.
Seattle is really interesting. So over the weekend in Seattle, there were a couple stories that were kind of local. 7th, there were some skydivers that did some pyrotechnic thing that freaked a lot of people out the way the flames looked in the sky, and then. Sunday night, people heard loud noises and felt like a shake, but there wasn't much reporting on it, but people felt it and heard it, so they're wondering what it is. Like I told you guys, just the way they sync up sports with news, I didn't think it was good when Seattle got the team named the Kraken, because the Kraken's a big monster from the ocean, and it's been theorized that Seattle could get smashed by a tsunami or another Mount Rainier eruption. Again, Seattle's ranked as one of the most dangerous cities to live in the entire world because of the natural disaster threats that are posed to it. But it's also, big military base there. And I mean, the one thing about the world wars is they haven't come to America yet. So World War comes to the States, West Coast. It would definitely be hot.
42nd state. It would make sense.
Yeah, the 42nd state too, right? When war is 42 and World War, and so is Iran, and yeah.
And check it out. I was doing some digging with Geno Smith's record, and there's two different ways to look at it. You can look at his record as a starter, which brings up a different record, or just career record. I don't know if that counts games that he came in as like a backup, but there's a different record. But I'm going with that one. I'm going not. I don't know if you think that's not a good way to decode, but anyways, I'll get to my point. Sorry. I was looking at his record, and he's 31 and 36, or 33 and 36. Forgive me, I don't have the exact record in my notes, but I know. Was looking at the season, how it could break down, and October 7th, big date recently, 107, and that was forecasted. You pointed that out. Seattle has that gematria of 107, and I noticed I counted up all the games for the rest of the season. If they finish the year 10-7, Seattle 107. If they finish the year 10-7, that sets up Geno for a narrative to go through the playoffs, and he will be 42-42 in the Super Bowl for his record. And I thought that was interesting. It's a lot of hypotheticals, but I haven't heard anybody really touch on this, and I know with the Seahawks and Dolphins, the last time they played was 10-4, 2020.
Interesting. Okay. Once upon a time, there was a Miami Seahawks. I got to tell you though, I'm very much cheering against the Seahawks Super Bowl because somebody called in the offseason and said the Seahawks will win the Super Bowl, and I told them if that happened, I would eat a crow on a live stream. So. Anyway.
Well, I want to ask you, do you think, so I was experimenting with the calculator, and I typed in the Seattle Seahawks. Do you think that's
Well, we discovered that I'd never thought of putting the in front of the sports teams before, but we realized that there's something to it because the Denver Nuggets is 77 and 76, and the season they just won was the 76th anniversary season, but the 77th total season. So there very well might be something to putting the in front of the team name.
Okay. So
And the problem with that is it gives you a whole other set of numbers to look at, but maybe, so.
The Seattle Seahawks is 58 and 104.
Really?
Yep.
Well, man, they'd have a lot of value right now because they're not the front runner. Interesting. I won't forget that you're the first to point that out. So interesting.
Yep, and Geno's born in Miami. I just figured that out right now. On 10-10, big revelation number. Yeah, the Beast, 42 months, 42nd day of the year.
Okay.
Interesting. Anyways, and then one more point. Did you catch the stream this morning with Fake Mike?
I saw that he challenged me to a wrestling match with his nails painted, and I was like, come on, Fake Mike's like a teddy bear too. He's like 5'5". What's with all these guys who are between 5'2" and 5'5" that all of a sudden want to fight online? Come on, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna say if you didn't watch it, don't miss much.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to ignore all the drama. So. All right, appreciate it, man.
Well, thanks. Have a good night.
All right, later. Yeah. I'll tell you what, the two guys that are vertically challenged, I'd feel bad having to fight one of them one-on-one because they're so small. If they both want to fight me at the same time, we can do that. I still think it'll be too easy. Be like picking on kindergartners. Let's go out to 954 and then we'll wrap this thing up. 954, you're last.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is Anthony down the floor.
You got to turn up your volume. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me okay?
I can barely hear. I'm not sure they can hear you, but I'm listening.
Okay. You and I, we're the dollar bill guys. Remember back in the day, we shared the stories about that a dollar bill sent to us. I found one in my car.
I can't remember right now, but I'm listening.
But anyway, I'd like to have you. I work at 4280 Galbo Cheval. That's where Supreme Court Justice John Stevens lives.
Okay.
He had explained how he had passed at 99 years old. I just wanted to share a couple of images I saw in the clouds, just to have you observe on your website there.
Okay.
I mean, if you type in my first name Anthony, then it's Ziemba.
It's okay. I appreciate the call, man. Have a good night. I mean, the volume is way down. Remember me, I'm the guy with the dollar bill I found under a car? Not really. Type in my name. I want to tell you about things I saw in the clouds. I mean, this is not the right stream. Anyway, I was hoping we'd get a better call to close it out, but you know what? We had some great calls, some more mind-blowing finds from the community. And, you know, the nice thing about this, it being 10 years after beginning to teach this, is 10 years ago when I did work, I mostly just got nothing but troll comments and haters. And now there's other people doing it and just building onto the proof, and it makes it so much more undeniable. Hold on, let's take one more call in case it's better than what the caller saw in the clouds. 402.
Yeah, man, I'm calling in because I can't end on a bad note like that, though.
Okay.
I was at the casino tonight, and I graduated back in 2014. I've seen kids, young men now I graduated with. Haven't seen them in 9 years since we graduated, man. In a whole nother city. And, yeah, that's just how life is. But I was telling them about the knowledge, man, and one of them was really digging it. And the other one came around towards the end. So, yeah, just every time, man, I call in, I want to encourage everybody to wake somebody up out there. Friend, family, stranger. I know it's hard and most people are asleep, eating fast food, but keep trying. Don't give up, man, because, listen, my ex-girlfriend, her cat died today as well, and just a lot of stuff. I'm not going to take up everybody's time. It's personal. But if you know me, you know just everything just falls in line like dominoes, and that's life, man. Just keep it pushing, everybody out there. I just want to send peace, love, and positivity to everybody out there listening. I love everybody, man. I'm just in a good mood tonight. I thought we made about $2,000-$3,000. I ain't even counted it yet.
Now you can buy your girlfriend a new cat. Sorry about the loss of the cat, though. That sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I won close to $3,000 tonight. You know, I haven't counted it all, but yeah, the knowledge is real. The power is real, man. It's crazy. Just God is real. You know, I don't know if it's man, woman, Jesus, whatever they call him, whatever he looks like, you know, but it's, yeah, man, just love everybody out there. All right, I want to send that message.
All right. Congrats on the win. Sorry about the cat. Make your girlfriend happy. Get her something nice.
Absolutely.
All right.
Good night, Zach. Take care, sweet lady.
Yeah, will do. Take care. Did you hear him? He was like, man, my girlfriend's cat died, but fuck it, I had a great day. I made $3,000. Definitely not a cat guy. Oh, man. But yeah, it's sad when your pet dies, man. I'd have pets if they didn't die. I can't handle it when a pet dies. Can't go through the loss of another pet. All right, we'll leave it there for now, True Seeker. Shout out to the super chatters. We raised $6 tonight. Shout out to King Richard TV, said Sage Zero MMA, and Itachi. Shout out to Gematria Sense, who said, would you say they switched up sports coding? I'd say they Oh, hold on. We got a Chris from Vegas call. We'll take that too. I'd say they switched up a little. And thank you, David. I'll look more into the RFK thing. I knew he had that announcement today. What's up, Chris?
My brother, hey, the cat died. That was crazy. Work, man. You got high patience, baby. Hey, real quick, we're gonna get on the Gematria too because I love the shit. The Rangers have value, like you've been saying since for a while, man. Start of the season, you called it. You put some stuff out there. You let people look at it. But the Rangers plus 370 on Gematria. I believe they're 37 when you just type out Rangers, right? So. Rangers 37, they're plus 370 right now. It's a good number. There's some great value. I know it's been going down, but at least, hey, you can jump on it and it is there. And then the Diamondbacks at the beginning of the series, they were plus 1,600. It's went down a little bit. It's at 900 now. That's some good value there. So if there's some people out there that want some good value that you can hedge later on down the road, that you can get a high number and hedge it even in the series because they're playing series games, that's some good value for you. So definitely look into that. And thank you for taking my call, Zach. Sorry about the Commanders the other night when I called in. My bad on that. I can't believe I went against some of the stuff that you were saying. I didn't hear the whole thing, so I came in last minute calling, and I should have listened to more of the notes of the call coming in because you're absolutely right. When I went back on that and then everything you know, and I'm like, oh, shit, what was I thinking, man? So goes to show you I'm not perfect. I'm not flawless, but I definitely love what you're doing. So thank you.
Well, and again, I mean, yeah, I was surprised how hard you wouldn't get. I was like, really? But I was like, he's having a great season, so hey, we'll see what happens.
Well, that goes to show you how hard I was going on it too. Because to be honest with you, I think I got to about the middle to the end of the call, and I saw some of the notes, and I like it. But if I would have really heard what you were saying in the beginning of it, I wouldn't even went on there and said, kind of how I did. So definitely when it came back and seen it, I'm like, shit, man, you should definitely think twice or maybe even listen to it more before you just do that. But, I still went with what I do and the numbers, and I know I'm not perfect, but man, I'm extremely consistent, and I don't try to be the best out there. So I just want to go with what I have and go with what you have, and then we're going to continue to smash. So hopefully one day I get to meet you, Zach. I really hope that one day you come to Vegas, and you never know what.
I'll probably the Kobe statue's February 8th, and then a short drive from LA is the Super Bowl. So I think I'll be doing both this year. So.
Dude, if you do that and you do come here, man, I hope I'm not. I would love to meet you, bro. I've been you've been doing it for 10 years. I've been following you for 8. I've always supported you. I would never go against you. I'm not a troll, and I know for the beginnings of the first years, bro, we're always thinking, man, what is this guy doing? He's calling with different shit and this and that. But I know, in my heart, and going in your best interest. So I truly appreciate you, Zach. And like I said, I really hope that I get to meet you, and then one day, you never know what it will lead up to, because I think everything we do is for the best of everyone. So thank you very much, bro. And you always take my call. That's the thing about you, bro. You always take my call. It's really nice of you to do that, man. So thank you so much, Zach.
No problem. Keep up the good work, Chris. Have a good night.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, later. How do you guys feel about that? Kobe statue February 8th to get out the word there, and then the Super Bowl 3 days later in Vegas to get out the word there. I think we got to do it. I think it's a date. And I might actually make up for not being in New York on 9/11 and get out there pretty soon with all the war stuff popping off, because it is a time to break silence. Not that we've been silent around here, but not enough people heard our voice or message yet. So that's it for now, Truth Seeker. Join us on Patreon if you want intel before the games. But hey, don't complain about these free streams either, because you can learn a lot. Until next time.